What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. TFD in the building with a major story that's shaking the W right now. It's official, man. A lockout might actually be on the horizon. Yeah, we got to take this one all the way to New York because it's about to get serious. Let's get into it. So here's the deal. I honestly didn't believe we'd even be having this conversation. I thought for sure the WNBA would try to ride out the current collective bargaining agreement, keep things moving, and avoid a lockout situation. But nah, it's looking like these players are digging in deep this time. They're not backing down. They're not extending anything. They want change. They want bigger paychecks, and they're ready to fight for it. Now, don't get me wrong. I totally get it. They deserve fair compensation. But at the same time, you got to think about the fans, right? This is the worst possible moment to be shutting down the league. The WNBA has finally started to pull in new audiences, casual viewers like myself who tune in to see the best talent in the world, and a big part of that is Caitlin Clark. Man, I'm telling you, I want to see CC pulling up from the logo every few nights, dropping 30, breaking records, keeping that fire going. The fans were finally locked in. But now, with this lockout looming, we might not even get that next season. That's crazy. And I'm just sitting here thinking, how do we even get to this point? The league finally has momentum, the spotlight, and the storylines. You'd think both sides would do everything possible to keep that energy alive. But instead, we're staring down the barrel of a major pause in action. And for the WNBA, that could be devastating. I'm not going to lie, I really didn't think it could come to this. I was confident they'd figure something out. But now, it's looking more real every single day. And if I'm being honest, this might be one of the rare times I'll admit it, y'all. I was dead wrong because it looks like a WNBA lockout might actually be coming. And that's bad news for everybody who loves the game.
And some CBA news from the show. Look at this. We have worked hard to be able to say on Friday we did it. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I'm not hopeful that agreeing to a deal by Friday is going to come to fruition. New no off-season ep. A deep dive on the WNBA CBA negotiation. It's Zane Keita, Sabrina Merchant, and I give a primer on the talks. Then Aaron D. Drake, Senior Advisor and Legal Counsel for the WNBA PA, joins us to share in-the-room insights and perspective. Now, here, look at this. WNBA underdog. WNBA has offered players a 30-day extension to continue negotiations for new CBA per Alexa Filippo. WNBA PA extremely unlikely to agree to a new CBA deadline on October 31st per Ben Pickman. Let's go ahead and check out this clip, man, because like I said earlier, I truly didn't think it was going to get this bad. I didn't think they were actually going to let things reach a full-blown lockout situation. I mean, come on, there's just no way I thought they'd allow this to happen. Not right now. But hey, I'll admit it, I was wrong on this one. So this right here comes straight from the Athletic podcast. You know, ever since they partnered up with the New York Times, they've been getting access to all the inside info, all the behind the scenes details. They're locked in, man. So shout out to them. They're out here digging deep, keeping folks informed, and giving us the real story. Go ahead and show them some love because it definitely looks like they're putting in that work to keep everybody updated. But anyway, let's take a listen to what they had to say about this whole situation. Because if this is true, then the W might be heading into some serious trouble.
Good Halloween costume ready for Friday. The most important thing happening on Friday.
Yeah. My partner's birthday is on Wednesday. So just a lot of life stuff. And as you said, Halloween is, a very important holiday in my family. And so I've been going back and forth. I think I forgot my vampire fangs at home.
Bro, we don't want to hear about this.
But I'm going to figure it out.
Very, very nice. I guess before we get into any of the spooky stuff, just to level set with our audience, can you just kind of describe your role at the PA and what you do? And
let's see, who is this?
Yeah, how you kind of fit into the Players Association ecosystem.
Yeah, sure. Happy to. So my title says what it says, but it doesn't kind of capture, I think, all of the work that I do. My job is to be within the union to address any of the legal questions or issues that come up for our players or for the union. At times, that's as kind of tried and true kind of labor union stuff as something like workers' compensation, right? And that's true across industries. If you get hurt at work, hopefully you have a union representative who can walk you through how to navigate that process. But I work specifically for this union. And because of the people who work in this union, there are certain issues that might be more specific because of sports, because of the fact that our entire body that we represent, that they're women, right? So what do laws kind of look like for them with all their lived experiences and identities in Dallas versus Brooklyn, in the Bay Area versus Indianapolis, in Chicago kind of versus like a Connecticut, right? So my job is really to keep an ear to the ground on like a lot of the legal changes that are happening in the country. I often say that as we're negotiating this collective bargaining agreement, there are also a lot of things that we have to negotiate with the world because it's women's sports, because they're moms, right? Because they're queer people, all of these things. And so I really try to pay special attention to those matters. And obviously we're negotiating a CBA right now, so I do a lot of that too.
Well, I mean, on that point, I guess, what do your days look like now, with this deadline barreling towards us?
A lot of thinking and reflecting about kind of how we got here and a lot of preparation for where we go next. I mean, I know that you all have done a great job covering what happens on October 31st, and the answer is not necessarily much, right?
Wow.
We're still going to be at the table. We're still going to be negotiating until we get this agreement done. We just don't know how long that's going to take, unfortunately. So
now I'm guessing she's somebody that's like, she got to be like the middleman between the players and the owners, somebody to go back and forth. I'm guessing but that's what she is. Now she's saying there is no movement as of right now.
Now, that's what our days are looking like. It's looking like a lot of conversation with players, a lot of conversation with the other members on staff of this union, and some creative thinking for how to get this done, because the players are so stalwart in their commitment to having a transformational CBA, and it is our job to get it done, right? Like my job is actually so easy right now because of how committed they are to this. I also have a number of contacts that we're working with outside of the unions, whether it's another union, whether it's folks who are trying to support the players in one way or another. I have to do a lot of the organizational work to make sure that everyone has what they need, and also, again, keep the main thing, and ensure that we're barreling towards a resolution for this agreement.
You mentioned it just as you were, just now explaining, kind of your day-to-day and what you're up to right now. And we set up some of the key issues about, salaries and revenue sharing and some of the other considerations that you might be talking about. But how, in your mind, did we get here? Like, how did we get to the point where we are at right now, where we're just a couple days removed from a deadline, where tensions remain high, where it seems like distance remains far apart from both sides, where some of the key issues that were key issues a year ago at this time still remain key issues today?
It depends how far back we want to start. That's honestly my instinct, I think, and part of that's me being a little cheeky, and part of it's not, right? I think the players voted to opt out, and we noticed the league about that opt-out on October 21st of last year of 2024. So for a year, we've known that this was a deadline. And for us, it's always been a very real deadline. And we have worked hard to be able to say on Friday, we did it, right? Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. In a dance, it takes two to tango. And it has been difficult to find the beat, to find the rhythm, and to find the same sense of urgency, just to be frank, to get this done. Now, how did we get here on some of the issues? I think you have to look at the beginning of this league. I think you have to go all the way back to the late 90s to see that there has been a certain way that things have been done in women's sports. There has been a certain way that things have been done in women's basketball. And the context has changed. And the moment has changed and the movement has grown. Now we are trying to negotiate a CBA that matches that. It feels quite misfitted to try to shoehorn or pigeonhole some of the old ways into what I think we can all acknowledge is a new era that's only going to get newer with these expansion teams. With the growth of the league, and frankly, with the numbers that we're seeing now when we talk about league revenue and when we talk about team valuations.
I guess just to build off of that,
Wow.
you mentioned that you feel like you've put, the union is in a position to say.
So guys, based on everything I've shown and talked about so far, you can actually check out No Off Season, the Athletic women's basketball show, over on their YouTube channel if you want to watch the full segment. Trust me, it's worth checking out because the 2026 WNBA season, yeah, it's officially in jeopardy. And honestly, this is not a good look for the league at all. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I did not think it would come to this. I mean, reporting on it is my job, and I gotta keep y'all informed no matter what. But deep down, I really didn't believe they were gonna let this situation spiral like this. Yet here we are, and it's looking more and more like a lockout is actually about to happen. This could set the league back big time. All that momentum they built up, gone. All the new fans that started tuning in for Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, and the rest of the stars, they might just walk away if there's no season next year. That's what makes this whole thing so frustrating. But hey, I want to hear from you guys on this one. Drop your thoughts down in the comment section. Do you think the players are right to hold out, or is the league making a huge mistake by letting this go this far? Let's talk about it because this could end up being one of the biggest moments in WNBA history, one way or another. Make sure you've got those bells on so you don't miss any updates. I'll be back soon with another one, keeping you locked in on everything going down with the W, because this story, it's far from over.